final match of the season. Gunn captaining the team, he's in goal. McConville, Duffy, Doyle and McLean the defenders. Wright, Nunez and Forson in midfield for Norwich. Stacey and Sykes on the wings, Sargent up front. And it looks as if, actually, Angus Gunn is going to be denied for now that chance to run towards the Barclay end for one last time, because he must have lost the toss. He's just telling his team that they've got to change ends. So it's actually Cardiff who are going away towards our right-hand side of the Barclay end. And Angus Gunn, instead, will get high fives from all of his teammates in the centre circle before running away to our left-hand side. But an emotional time, Rob. I know he won't be the only one playing his last game for Norwich City today, but the family connection, born in Norwich, but for him in particular, this is quite a moment, isn't it? Quite an afternoon.
Yeah, and I think it's a really nice touch from the club to make him captain today, because he's been a tremendous servant for the club. Obviously, like the family history with his dad, they're legendary. The name Gunn is going to be legendary in Norwich's history. So, listen, it's a great occasion for him. There will be some seriously mixed emotions. Hopefully, he'll keep a clean sheet. Hopefully, the team will win and he can leave on a high. But I'm sure there's a lot more Angus Gunn will offer somewhere else. But like I say, for Norwich City, he's the goalkeeper today, and what he will be looking to do is first and foremost win the game and keep a clean sheet as well.
We're underway. Final game of the season at Carrow Road. Nothing to play for in terms of going up or going down. Norwich aren't doing either. Cardiff are already down. I'll give you their line-up in a moment, but we will of course keep you up to date with the goals as they go in from elsewhere on this final afternoon of the Championship. All 24 teams are playing. There are playoff positions and a big relegation tussle to be decided as well. Norwich in possession, attacking the Barclay end in this first half. Here's Jacob Wright in midfield. Knocks it to Kenny McLean. He's come into the centre of the pitch. And now Nunez spreads it out towards the left-hand side looking for Science. Has been intercepted though by Capaccio. He's been brought into the Cardiff team today, with them already relegated. Their caretaker boss, Aaron Ramsey, who played alongside Jack Wilshere for Arsenal, has given a few younger players an opportunity in the squad today. It's back with their goalkeeper, Horvath, the American. He plays it out to the skipper, Rawls, and Cardiff confident enough to stroke the ball around inside their own penalty area. And now in their navy blue shirts, white shorts and navy blue socks, try to break forward on the right-hand side, but they've conceded possession. And Norwich have it now. It's gone back to the standing left-back, Kenny McLean, to Doyle, another one of those who his loan spell ends after this game, so we might not see him in yellow and green next season. Here's Sykes, who can't keep that ball in play, and it's gone out of play for a Cardiff throw. Horvath is their goalkeeper. Capaccio, Fish, Chambers, no doubt are the defenders. Rawls, Turnbull and Robertson their midfield three. They've got Kean Ashford on the right, Will Alves on the left, and the striker Salech, who looked for a while like he might be the man to get the goals to keep them up. 7 goals in 21 appearances since arriving, the Dane, but not quite enough in the end, and Cardiff have been relegated. Always a enthralling day this, the final match of the season for Norwich City. The final match of the season for everybody else in the Championship as well. The sun's gone in, it's got rather cloudy, a little bit chilly, as Cardiff now set off on the attack for the first time with Alves on the left-hand side. There's room on the right edge of the penalty area, and it's Cardiff are showing as an attacking force first in this game. Ashford's shot, but it's saved down by his near post by the feet of Angus Gunn and behind for a corner. So Cardiff already down, Rob Newman, but pressure's off for them as well, so that they come here with a bit of freedom, don't they?
Yeah, no, hopefully we're going to see a good open attacking game today, because that was a really good, impressive build-up for Cardiff on the counter. Found the space on the right-hand side, and Gunn had to make the save down low with his feet. So the intentions are there for Cardiff, and they're not going to come and just be the fodder for Norwich today. They're going to have a go.
Turnbull's corner from the right-hand side, hit high towards the penalty spot, put back into the danger zone by Fish. There's a flying attempted scissor kick in there from Rawls. Norwich have scrambled it away. Nunez, though, is caught in possession on the edge of his own penalty area. Cross comes back in from the right-hand side. Wright heads it clear. It's Cardiff who are showing first in the game. Robertson switches it out towards the right-hand side. Still plenty of blue shirts in the Norwich penalty area, if they can work a crossing opportunity here. In it comes from the right. It's a decent cross. McConville gets his head to it. Forson's back there defending. Was that handball by a Cardiff player? Well, and the shot comes in the end. And Gunn makes a terrific save, diving to his left. The Norwich defence almost stopped there. They felt there was a handball, but a volley goalwards that Gunn got down smartly to save.
That was a world-class save for me. It was unbelievable. It was a great struck volley from about 12 yards, and it was a really strong hand, left hand from Angus Gunn there as well. But listen, 2 great saves from Angus Gunn in the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, Cardiff haven't turned up just to give Jack Wilshere an easy opportunity to show what his team can do on the ball. Gunn, that was a really good save, and the best thing about it was, and Norwich's last home game, which turned out to be Hannes Torp's last home game in charge, they led in 5 against Portsmouth, and George Long played in goal in that game, and was criticised sometimes for how often he pushes the ball straight out, and that could easily have happened there, but it didn't. It was such a good save from Gunn. Now Cardiff again playing out from the back and doing it well, and here's their captain Rawls in the midfield. Switches it towards Capaccio, the right back, but Sainz has stolen it off him. Ball, Sainz has possession, left-hand side, weaving forward, gets tackled in the end by Turnbull, and the ball ricochets out towards the Cardiff right-back position where Capaccio and Sainz go to battle, and the ball goes out of play. He's only 17, Ronan Capaccio, the right-back. His 8th appearance for the first team, and you do get that sometimes, don't you, with the game up and Cardiff down. Maybe Aaron Ramsey there, caretaker manager, having a look at who might be around for next season.
Absolutely. You mean like, as you say, Chris, they've been relegated, and this is a perfect opportunity to play against a team that's been well established in the Championship, and that hopefully he'll be looking to maybe they don't have to buy a right back when you've got a 17-year-old that's playing and has done well. It saves the club some money.
Cardiff looking at a first season in League One next year since 2002-2003. 20 years they've been in the top 2 divisions. It's a bit of a warning for Norwich City that if you don't get it right in the Championship, even if you have been a Premier League team in recent history, you've got no divine right to stay there, and Norwich have found it before. You can drop further. Cardiff have started brightly in this game. Good defending there from Duffy though, and here's Fawcett starting a league game for the first time since November for Norwich City, giving the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area. Saleh goes forward, good block tackle from Doyle. Norwich though making a meal of getting it away. Some of the old habits dying hard here. Rawls strikes from distance, it is blocked by Duffy and goes away for a corner. Now that's exactly what Norwich didn't do at Middlesbrough, where they were very careful about overplaying near the edge of their own penalty area, and twice there they gave the ball away, didn't they?
Absolutely, you got Fawcett in possession there. He's got it on his right foot, he chumps back in and gives the ball to Duffy, who's surrounded by 2 Cardiff men who consequently loses possession, and again it's another shot on Norwich's goal. It's gone out for a corner.
Corner to Cardiff. Turnbull from the right hand side hits it long and deep. Fish up for the back. I think that ball had curled out of play though before it swung into the penalty area. Turnbull gives the assistant referee the benefit of his thoughts on that, but the assistant referee was sure. David Turnbull, a player who Norwich came very close to signing a few years ago, back in 2019. Ended up playing for Celtic. An injury hit time there, and now playing in the Championship. First goal in the final day of the Championship. QPR lead 1-0 at Sunderland. Sunderland, of course, have been resting players for the last few weeks because they are guaranteed a playoff place. They'll have to go again over the next week. Neither of these 2 teams will. Here's Sargent getting a touch for Norwich City on halfway. Unable to get it towards a teammate. And here's another of Jack Wilshere's former teammates, Callum Chambers, at the back for Cardiff. Plays it forward, swept up by McConville. And back it goes to the goalkeeper. Yeah, strange day for Callum Chambers, the 30-year-old centre-back. Played with Aaron Ramsey, not just at Cardiff but at Arsenal as well, and played alongside Jack Wilshere for a long time too, and now he finds himself up against them as managers. As the ball is played over the top by Norwich, and Stacey is in, but it's a poor first touch, and he runs into the goalkeeper, actually fouls him in the process, and he picks it up. Well, Jack Stacey, furthest player forward, he was away then, wasn't he?
Yeah, good. I think he was he was thinking he was offside. It was one of the old adages, you've got to play on until the whistle goes, and if I think he would have done that, he would have got the ball.
Here comes O'Dowda, the left back for Cardiff, getting forward to good effect on the left-hand side, taking on McConville now, crosses it to the Norwich penalty area, Gunn easily comes to get it. O'Dowda scored against Norwich earlier this season, one of the real heartbreaks over the last 46 games. Norwich, injury hit Norwich, went to Cardiff, played really, really well. They were 1-0 up after 89 minutes for Norwich, and they ended up losing 2-1. It was one of many disappointments along the way this season, but we really felt for them that day. Unfortunately though, it set the tone for a difficult spell after that, and it all ended with Hannes Torp, of course, losing his job last week, although as recent as March Norwich looked in playoff contention. Now Capaccio looked like he'd taken the ball out of play there, but the assistants and the officials don't think so. Norwich felt they should have had a throw in. Cardiff have been given permission to play on, but Norwich haven't really got going at the start of this game yet. It's not the up and Adam start that I'm sure Jack Wilshere, who is almost on the pitch over on the far side, wearing all grey today over there, like white trainers on. He would really really wanted his side to be up and at him, but he looks like he's kicking every ball over on that far side as we watch Cardiff dictate the play again. O'Dowda coming forward from left back, but he can't keep it in play. And it is actually Cardiff who've started this game much the brighter, isn't it? 0-0, 8 minutes gone.
Yeah, most definitely. Cardiff are using the whole pitch. They're making the pitch really, really big, and picking up balls in pockets of space. And Norwich midfielders have to be aware of this and get closer to Cardiff City players when they're receiving possession.
There's been a goal that might affect things at the bottom of the Championship, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Here's Forson battling for Norwich City, tussling and tangling, but ultimately not emerging with the ball. It's Chambers for Cardiff, gets up towards Robertson, who's tripped there, and it's a free kick to Cardiff halfway inside the Norwich half. So West Brom 1, Luton 0. Luton in the mix at the bottom of the table. They have dropped into the bottom three as a result of that goal, because Hull have got, at the moment, are getting the point that they would need to take them above Luton on goal difference. So Luton 1-0 down at West Brom, although they have equalised already. They were only behind for 2 minutes. It's going to be one of those days, Rob, where we're looking at results elsewhere as much as here. So Luton for 2 minutes were in the bottom three, but they've just equalised, and it looks like they might get themselves back out of it again. It's going to be quite an afternoon, I think. But not so much here at Carrow Road in terms of that, but Norwich have got to keep their wits about them here, defending a set piece. Cardiff free kick halfway inside the Norwich half. The Welsh side already down, but they've started the brighter here, and they've slipped a clever free kick to Ashford in the penalty area to the left of goal. Tries to stand it up towards the far post. Shot comes in from Chambers and guns there again. Chambers again puts it back in the 6-yard box, half cleared. Here's Robertson, terrific tackle from Nunez, and it breaks for Borja Sainz, who brings the ball up towards halfway and is clattered there by Rawls. And that could easily be the game's first yellow card. But Angus Gunn's last game for Norwich City, it is the game's first yellow card for Rawls. Angus Gunn's final game for Norwich City. That's 3 decent saves inside the first 10 minutes from him.
You're letting this keeper go, and he's made 3 world-class saves in the first 10 minutes. There could be a lot of conversations about that tonight over their first point.
It's a big call, letting Angus Gunn go. It'll be fascinating to see where Norwich do go next. And he has missed 11 league games this season, but
that's a big point. That's a big point.
Of those 11, without him, Norwich haven't won any of them, though, which is another point that you can't maybe rely on just having one goalkeeper you trust. Maybe they're going to need to sign a couple over the summer. We'll see. He has only let in 2 goals in his last 5 matches, Angus Gunn, before today. Norwich just hitting rather a hopeful ball forward, but it's gone through to Ethan Horvath in the Cardiff goal.
I think more importantly, OK, Angus has made the saves, but the 10 outfield players have been. It's been too easy for Cardiff to get situations where they've been able to have these shots in and around the Norwich penalty area.
Yeah, Norwich not looking as defensively sound as they did in Jack Walsh's first game in charge. Cardiff on top at the moment. Duffy slides in, determined, wins the ball on halfway. There's Jacob Wright, who slides it towards the standing left back Kenny McLean. McLean brings it carefully up towards halfway. Nunez has made a good angle on the left-hand side. He's now darting in diagonally, reverse pass into the channel, but Sainz hadn't made the run that Nunez was anticipating, and it's an easy clearance from Will Fish, the former Manchester United defender. They've won game for United, joined Cardiff in August, and now becoming a more regular starter as the season has gone on. Norwich have possession on halfway, goalless on a blustery afternoon at Carrow Road. Certainly not as warm as it has been during this last few days in Norfolk, as McLean gets the ball out towards the left-hand side and Doyle onto Sainz. Norwich beginning to string some passes together for the first time in this game, and it's Aaron Ramsey's turn to look a little bit more animated with the 2 former Arsenal teammates on the side of the pitch. The Cardiff interim manager. 0-0, 12 minutes gone. Here's McLean for Norwich from deep, hitting the ball forward quickly, looking for the run of Sainz. Capacchio's headed it away, but Nunez senses a chance to get on the ball and carry Norwich forward here. He's on the left wing, level with the penalty area. Marcelino Nunez, almost by the corner flag, takes on Capacchio, plays the ball against him, and it goes behind. Just on the other side of the corner flag, though, and a throw-in has been given to Norwich, level with the Cardiff penalty area. Another goal. Burnley 0, Millwall 1. Millwall under Alex Neil looking to gate crash the playoffs. Can they get in the top 6? We'll look at that in a moment. But Norwich have possession, left-hand side with McLean. He gets the ball in. Stacey's up, just couldn't quite get his head on that one. And it runs across towards McConville on the right-hand side. Now it's forced on edge of the penalty. A nice pass to Stacey, right byline, crosses it in. Nunez at the far post. Yes! Norwich have the breakthrough. It's the first goal under Jack Wilshere. And it was really neatly taken by Marcelino Nunez. Ball played across the penalty area. It's taken 13 minutes. It's Norwich's first real chance, and Nunez dispatches it with a minimum of fuss, and it's Norwich City 1, Cardiff City 0.
Yeah, first real attack from Norwich of any substance. Great cross from Kenny McLean, went over the far post. Forson regenerated the pass, a little reverse into to Stacey, who's picked out Nunez with a good pull back, and it was a solid side foot finish from Nunez. Great goal, good finish, and probably against a run of play, but we don't care about that. But hopefully this will kickstart Norwich into what hopefully is going to be the next 70-odd minutes of the game. Really good.
That's what Jack Wilshere would have been hoping for, an early goal, but watching Cardiff, it's reminded me a little bit of watching Norwich at times this season, in that Cardiff have done lots of hard work and looked impressive in the attack, but the first time their defence has got under pressure, well, they didn't have any answer to that, did they? There was all sorts of space for Forson and then for Stacey to cut the ball back, and Nunez sort of hit it into the ground and it bounced in, didn't it? The equaliser for Burnley against Millwall, 1-1. As soon as that goal went in, celebrations were dying down. Jack Wilshere called him Ankle Forson straight over to him.
Obviously you see maybe it was the decision he made about 5 minutes early where he put Shane Duffy into danger.
So 1-0 to Norwich against Cardiff. Marcelino Nunez scoring what is his 5th goal of the season. Another player who's had a stop-start season hit by injuries, Nunez. So that Burnley 1, Millwall 1. Of course, Burnley and Leeds going for the title today. Millwall going for the playoffs. Here comes Sargent. Oh, he's been dragged back there by Callum Chambers. No, he's only about 20 yards from goal. Was he the last man? If he was, the referee's got a big decision to make here about whether Callum Chambers, Jack Wilshere's former Arsenal teammate, could be about to be sent off, because Sargent was bearing down on the penalty area. Chambers came across, he knew exactly what he was doing, dragged Sargent back, and it will be fascinating to see what colour of card comes out here for Callum Chambers. He's off! He played with Jack Wilshere at Arsenal, he played with his own manager Aaron Ramsey at Arsenal, but he's not going to be playing against them for long here today. 15 minutes in, Callum Chambers sent off, and I think as soon as Sargent was dragged back there, as soon as he went down, he must have known what was coming. That had to be a red card, didn't it?
Yeah, middle of the pitch. Sargent was going to be through on goal. Yeah, no qualms there. The player can have no qualms about being shown a red card there. Shame for the game, but hopefully good for Norwich that this will really put them in the ascendancy as well. But disappointing for Cardiff, because like you say, Chris, they've started the game really well, and they must be thinking, scratching their head like how they're losing this game, and now they're down to 10 men. But what an opportunity for Norwich. But again, as we've just sort of like said how Angus Gunn has done in the first half, this is what Sargent does as well. He's such a threat as a centre forward in this division, and he causes central defenders especially all sorts of problems with his pace and his power, and that's exactly what he's done then, and it's caused Callum Chambers to be sent off.
I mean, there's still work to be done, but from Jack Wilshere's point of view, if you wanted an audition in front of your home supporters, you've got just 15 minutes gone in the game, you're already a goal up, and you're playing against 10 men.
Absolutely. I mean, like I say,
what a position.
Like I say, for the first 15 minutes, Cardiff have been the better side. But like you say, 1-0 up.
From the free kick, Nunez, 25 yards out, he scored! Marcelino Nunez puts it in the top corner. He scored twice in 3 minutes. Cardiff have also had a player sent off. That's the first time Nunez has put a free kick in the net this season. He saved it until the last day, but it always looks good. And Norwich City are suddenly firmly in control against the 10 men. It's Norwich 2, Cardiff 0.
Like you said, Jack Wilshere probably went to bed last night thinking, hopefully we could be 2-0 up in the first 15 minutes, playing against 10 men. What a great dream that would be. I don't think he thought it would happen, but it's certainly happening now. And like you say, what an audition. But I think it's down to the players now to really stamp their authority on this game and give these fans who've suffered quite a lot this season a real send-off. And like you say, finish the season on a real high.
Marcelino Nunez, we've seen him line up so many free kicks this season. He's really good at them. But he's not scored one for Norwich this season. His last one was the winner in the East Anglian Derby in April last year. That one perfectly placed. Don't think the goalkeeper even moved.
No, fantastic execution of the free kick, up and over the wall, top corner. Keeper's got no chance.
I don't know whether the soft Torrent will be following this from a distance. Probably not. But he must be thinking that Jack Wilshere's lucky. all of the hard afternoons he had, but actually, let's be honest. honest about it, Norwich have got themselves in this position, haven't they? They've taken the chances. Even the sending off was down to good play from Josh Sargent.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, these things don't happen. They have to be sort of like brought on by the players. And like I say, Gunn's made great saves. Sargent made the run, the power. The central defender has been sent off. Nunez has scored 2 fantastic goals. So listen, it's a great occasion now. There's still plenty of time in this game to go. Let's go and put on a real show.
And life as a manager, you've got 2 former Arsenal midfielders who made their debut at pretty similar times. In fact, I was looking that when Arsenal came here on the final day of the season in 2014, Aaron Ramsey started the game and scored, and Jack Wilshere then came on for him as a substitute at Carrow Road. So their careers have been so closely aligned, and yet on the side of the pitch now, the different emotions they're going through. One is 2-0 up in the sunshine, playing against 10 men. The other is in charge of a team that's already relegated, having started quite well in this game, but now in an awful position.
Yeah, and I think what Norwich have got to do now, they just can't rest on this. They've got to really go and put on a show of positive attacking football.
McLean, Sargent, here's Jacob Wright now finding Forson in a good position. Reverse pass from Forson through to Josh Sargent! In the post! Fired it across the goalkeeper, who again didn't move. And Sargent standing there with his head in his hands. He should have scored that of his talent, but it was a lovely move, and Sargent smashed it against the post.
Forson, another great ball, penetrating the back line. Yeah, you bank Sargent to finish that. Unlucky, just tried to hit it across the keeper, come off the post. But looking at from in the replay, you're expecting him to score that. But really positive move from Norwich.
It's his sort of position as well, isn't it? To the right of goal, shooting across the keeper. Oh, there's a awful challenge on Duffy. Instead, spinning to the ground. Free kick for Norwich on halfway. Other goals, the telly back Plymouth. Leeds 1-0, an own goal from Sam Byram. Plymouth are already down. Leeds looking to win the title today. That's Burnley's result. Change being made here by Aaron Ramsey in Cardiff, and this will just be to make sure they've got a full complement of defenders on. They're taking off David Turnbull, the midfielder, and Joe Bagan is coming on, a 23-year-old who was actually sent off early this season against Leeds, so he will at least know what Callum Chambers is going through. But you often see that, don't you, when you've had a centre-half sent off, usually first opportunity.
It makes sense with so many minutes to go as well.
The manager will bring on another one. Here's Forson, who's enjoying himself out there, Emmanuel Forson, running up towards the edge of the penalty area, still going, lose it in the end to Rawls. And Cardiff will try and break. A challenge from Jacob Wright, but Cardiff have moved it to O'Dowda. Challenged by Stacey. It's Norwich City 2, Cardiff City 0 on this final day of the season. 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes from Marcelino Nunez. And in between the 2 goals, Cardiff had Callum Chambers sent off. So at the moment, Burnley are top and are going to win the league, with Leeds going up as well. Hull have just scored at Portsmouth. Portsmouth 0, Hull 1. Now, Hull started the day in the bottom 3. So that will be significant, because Luton last I saw were drawing with West Brom. So that will mean that Hull will be on their way towards getting themselves out of the bottom 3, but we'll confirm that for you in a moment as the ball goes back to Angus Gunn. Norwich well in control of this game, 2-0 up, playing against 10 men. Matt Crooks has scored for Hull in that game away at Portsmouth, which is tremendously significant, and that actually moves Hull from 3rd bottom up to 18th in the table, and Luton are now in the bottom 3, level on points with Preston and Derby as it stands. It's goal difference. They've got 3 teams at the moment level on points in that final relegation place, and 2 more just a point further up. Fascinating. Norwich turning on the style, back heel from Nunez to Sainz on the left-hand side, puts it into the penalty area, cleared away, but Cardiff are camped back inside their own penalty area at the Barclay end. Norwich attacking the Barclay end one last time this season and attacking it with style. Nunez has scored twice. We've played for 22 minutes, and it is Norwich City leading Cardiff by 2 goals to 0. The ball goes out to the left-hand side. McLean onto Nunez. Borja Sainz now on the edge of the penalty area. Sainz spotting McConville arriving. McConville's got Stacey in a great position outside him, right-hand side. He set up 1 goal already. This one he stands up towards the far post, but can't pick out a teammate. Cardiff haven't dealt with it, though. McLean gives it to Nunez on the corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. He puts a high floated cross in. Sargent challenges for it. He's beaten in the air. Cardiff scramble it away. Duffy turns the ball out to the left-hand side. It's relentless from Norwich at the moment. McLean gives it to Nunez. Pass into the penalty area. Sainz from the angle. Scores! 3 goals in the first quarter of this game for Norwich City. And Borja Sainz, who's still in the race to be the Golden Boot winner in the Championship this season. He'll need to 10 men. Sights with a crisp finish, and it is Norwich City 3, Cardiff 0.
Again, it's evidence of playing positive balls through gaps. I mean, great ball from Núñez, great control from Sainz, who spun and hit it with his left foot into the far corner. Great goals. It's just being positive on the ball. This is going to be like a real occasion for Norwich now. They're camped in the Cardiff half. I mean, I don't think, I'm going to make a call now. I'll be very surprised if Angus Gunn touches the ball again in this game, because such is the authority Norwich have got on this game.
Unless Norwich get a penalty.
But listen, what Jack Wilshere said to Forson, I mean, in the last 10 minutes he's been higher up the pitch, he's been more positive with his passing, not like the first 5 minutes where he gave the ball away. So listen, it's an unbelievable turn of events here in the last 10-15 minutes, how Norwich have come on top now.
Sainz has just gone off the pitch over on the far side. I don't think it's anything that's going to keep him out the rest of the game, but a bit of a bloody nose there. Wonder if he got injured in the celebrations.
Maybe.
Of the goal that has put Norwich absolutely firmly in control. For Cardiff, well, the season can't end soon enough. They've got a few hardy supporters have made this long journey. Their last game in the Championship before they go down, and their team's 3-0 down already with 10 men. Here's O'Dowda, though, coming forward on the left-hand side by the corner flag. Jack Stacey makes the challenge, and then loses out to O'Dowda, who charged into the Norwich penalty area, tees up the chance for Robertson, and it's deflected over the top. And Cardiff have a corner. Maybe they've decided that attack is the best form of defence with 10 men.
And I think what I've seen there is the best thing, like Doyle's headed the ball over deflected the ball over the bar, and everyone's gone to Doyle to congratulate him. They want to keep a clean sheet here. I think they want to keep a clean sheet, not only for themselves but for Angus Gunn as well. So really important, and it was good to see everyone slapping Doyle on the back there with his bravery, putting his head on the ball.
Look at this, Norwich defending a corner. They've left Sights up on halfway, and even Forsom's thinking about joining him, but he's now going to come back and defend. Corner for Cardiff, right hand side, played into the penalty area, headed up and over the top from Will Fish, the defender. So Norwich in a great position here. Final day of the season, BBC Radio Norfolk, 25 minutes gone. Norwich City 3, Cardiff 0, 2 for Núñez, 1 for Sainz. And in between those two Núñez goals, Cardiff had Jack Wilshere's former Arsenal teammate Callum Chambers sent off for a professional foul on Josh Sargent when he was clean through, and that is why it is 3-0, and that's why Norwich are playing with some comfort, and they're knocking the ball around nicely, and Sargent's got it out to the left-hand side now, and Núñez, who's level with the Cardiff penalty area once more, right on the edge of the penalty area to McLean, forward again to Núñez, back to McLean, left-hand side, crosses it in, Sargent rises, but he's beaten in the air by Fish, and Norwich now, again, relentless. They're not letting Cardiff off the hook here. Doyle shoots from the edge of the box and drags it wide, and what's impressive about this for Norwich, and certainly the build-up to the Sainz goal, is Cardiff had a couple of goes at getting the ball away, but Norwich were just coming again and again and again, and Cardiff could not get it away.
You got your two centre-halves, they're probably, 20 yards outside the Cardiff City penalty box, so Norwich, when Cardiff do try to clear it, the two central defenders of Norwich are there to put pressure on the Cardiff players receiving. But yeah, no, it looks really, really good now.
But the one thing we should say, though, and again, under Johannes Soft-Torres, goal scoring was never the problem, was it?
No.
As we said all the way through.
No.
As Cardiff struggled to deal with a high ball forward, Sargent nearly shrugs off both centre-backs there. It's cleared away. Norwich, the second highest scorers in the division this season. We've said that a lot. Only Leeds have scored more. Now Sainz has just been checked. And Norwich have a free kick halfway inside the Cardiff half. And Manuel Hernandez is warming up over on the far side. Someone who is involved with Norwich City for the final time today. He'll get on at some point. And I think any attacking player is going to be sitting on the side of the pitch just licking their lips at the moment about the situation that Norwich find themselves in. So at the moment, Luton are going down with Plymouth and Cardiff. Cardiff will finish rock bottom. There's a cluster of teams all within a point at the bottom of the table as Forson takes a free kick, hits it high into the penalty. McConville's header, he's hit the bar! Did the keeper get a touch? I don't think he did, it's a goal kick. Rudy McConville around the back there, turned 20 earlier this week and very nearly got his first senior goal there.
Another great ball in from Forson, free kick far post. Great determination from McConville there, unlucky to hit the bar.
So just a word on the bottom of the Championship. Plymouth are down because of the massive goal difference swing that would be needed. Cardiff are down. And you've got Luton, who are in the bottom three on 50 points. Preston and Derby also have 50 as it stands. Stoke and Hull have 51 as it stands. That's how tight it is for that last relegation place. But Norwich are turning on the style here on BBC Radio Norfolk as Forson releases Sainz to Forson, who's now in the penalty area. He crosses, it's cleared away by Rawls. McLean is on the front foot on the left-hand side. He's giving it to Jacob Wright. He tries a curling shot, but it's high over the top and ends up closer to the back of the bottom tier of the Barclay than the front. But I suppose this isn't really a test now for Norwich, is it? Anybody can play in this sort of situation, but they're playing nicely.
No, absolutely.
They're knocking the ball around.
Absolutely, and I'm looking out there for the experienced players like Duffy, McLean. They're having a real voice on this pitch now, and Duffy's there, sort of like Wright's hit the ball over the bar, but Duffy's straight onto him, get his head up. Listen, don't worry about it. Keep at it. So it's sort of like there looks to be leaders on the pitch today, which probably have been missing for a large majority of the season.
So the Championship's top scorer is Joel Pirot, who's got 19. Sainz has now got 18 in the league because he scored today. And Josh Brownhill of Burnley has scored today. He's got 18 as well, so that's another battle watching. McLean crosses. Sargent nearly there in the penalty area. It's blocked. Forson's won it back in the penalty area, but never quite fully in control of it. And the young defender, Capaccio, who is absolutely in the deep end here, does really well, the right back, to win a free kick here. The 17-year-old, only his 6th first-team appearance, and he won't have played in many situations like this. Part of a defence that was reduced in number inside the first 15 minutes. And a Norwich City side who've looked pretty rampant so far. 3-0 the Canaries lead. And
I think Josh Sargent will be disappointed for not getting on the cross from great cross from Kenny McLean there. Went with his left foot, should have gone with his right foot in my opinion.
Another massive goal, Rob, elsewhere. Preston, who could go down, have just taken the lead at Bristol City. So that lifts Preston all the way up to 17th in the table, and Bristol City need the points to maintain a playoff place. The race for that final playoff place now, or the final 2 playoff places, Coventry are 5th on 67, Bristol City are 6th on 67, Millwall also have 67, Blackburn have 66 and Middlesbrough 65. 2 places up for grabs from those collection of teams, and 2 of them, we should mention, Middlesbrough and Coventry are playing each other. 0-0 in that one at the moment. 3-0 here to Norwich City. Nunez chasing a hat-trick in the penalty area here. Cardiff have got it back to their goalkeeper Horvath, the American. Clears it away, and then there's a foul. Norwich so eager to try and keep the ball deep in Cardiff territory that Robertson, the former Manchester City youngster, has been fouled, and it's a free kick to Cardiff. So it's an amazing day, this, isn't it, Rob, with the goals going in elsewhere, and you still wouldn't be able to call who's going down and who's going to finish in the playoff places.
I think someone told me earlier in the week, Norwich Cardiff, there's only 4 games in the Championship that's got nothing riding on it, and this is one of them. So listen, my old team Bristol, they need to get back into the game down there. I'll be interested on hearing how they're doing, but like I say, we're here, we're enjoying the sunshine, we're enjoying the display that this team's putting on, and like I say, we'll let all the pressures crack on everywhere else.
He's from Norwich as well, isn't he, Liam Manning, their manager?
Yes.
So there'll be a little bit of Norfolk success. Luton have just gone 2-1 down at West Brom, so Luton's survival chances being dented all the time. They are in the bottom 3 as it stands, and going down successive relegations it would be for Luton. Norwich, Cardiff are going to make another change in a moment to try and stem the tide here. Hull are winning, Preston are winning, Luton are losing. That's the big news at the bottom of the Championship at the moment. Here's Duffy for Norwich City. Oh, spots the pass into the penalty area, which is cut out. Forson battling, McConville battling. Norwich desperately trying to keep it high up the pitch, and again, in their eagerness to do so, they've given away a foul on a free kick to Cardiff. Actually, since the last change that Aaron Ramsey made, he has managed to stem the tide a bit, hasn't he, and made Cardiff look more solid, and he's going to try and do the same again here. They're taking off Will Alves, who's this left winger who's on loan from Leicester, and they are going to bring on another defender here, Dylan Lawler, who is going to come on for just his 2nd appearance. Played against Aston Villa in the FA Cup. On he comes here. So in fact, Aaron Ramsey here, the Cardiff interim head coach, has been forced into 2 changes inside the first 32 minutes, and they are putting on an extra defender here by the looks of it, aren't they? They're going with 3 centre backs.
I think it's damage limitation now for Cardiff. I mean, what they don't want to do is 3-0's bad enough, but they don't want it to get any worse than this, because it's going to be a long 3 months for them if they do. So he would put the defender on to make them really solid and compact. But what it will do is give Norwich even more possession of the ball, and hopefully they can still find those passes that break the lines.
We're almost going to be watching a training session here, aren't we? I think attack versus defence, with Norwich 3-0 up on BBC Radio Norfolk inside the first 32 minutes, and Cardiff down to 10 men. And already bringing on a couple of extra defenders from the bench to try and make sure that Norwich can't go absolutely goal crazy here on the final day. Nunez has got 2, Sainz has got 1. The Norwich fans are in good voice. And Jack Wilshere said he enjoyed every minute last week against Middlesbrough. That was a 0-0 draw. Goodness knows what he's going through over there on the side of the pitch now. Looking very smart. Not sure that's quite the great same grey cardigan he's got on this week. There's a slight hint of double denim about it from here. Rob, do you think that he's wearing sort of grey?
I don't like to comment on fashion.
No, well, no. Well, he's just trying to set the scene, Rob.
Looking very smart. Let's put it that way.
He's absolutely
colour coordinated, isn't it?
There was a time when, if you're a manager, it was suit or tracksuit, wasn't it? But there's far more creativity being shown on the side.
So much different in my days. So much different in my days.
What were you, tracksuit or suit?
I was tracksuit. Yeah, I was tracksuit.
Suited it as well. Here's Borja Sainz, 3-0, Norwich lead. Sainz plays the ball into the box. Josh Sargent now, can he bring the ball under control? He did initially, but then got tackled, and Cardiff played it away. That is the thing now. It is a packed defence that Norwich have got to try and bulldoze a way through. 3-0 they lead. Jacob Wright puts his foot on the ball literally and waits for some movement. Gets it back again from Kenny McLean. Nunez, he's on a hat-trick, would you believe? Cracking free kick from him, the second goal after confidently dispatching the first. And then we saw Borja Sainz angle in. So for him in the second half of the season, there's been a relatively rare goal, but Norwich are moving the ball around nicely now on the right-hand side. Everyone for Cardiff in blue back behind the ball. Duffy gives it to McConville on the right-hand side. 6'4" centre-back usually, but putting it right back for Norwich at the moment. Here's Doyle, who clips it into the penalty area. Sargent chests it down and then gets tackled by Bagan, and it's cleared away. Those extra defenders were necessary from Cardiff, you can see, can't you?
Yeah, I think what Norwich got to do now, they've just got to keep moving the ball quicker, make the pitch big, 2 wide wingers, stay out wide, and just try and find those passes and the gaps just like they did then. Sargent was unlucky there.
McConville to Forson on the right-hand side. And Michael Forson starting his 9th league game of the season for Norwich. One of those players who arrived last summer. He's found the going difficult, bar that incredible double stoppage time goal that he got against Coventry when Norwich were losing 1-0 after 90 minutes and managed to win the game. Duffy, right to Stacey on the right-hand side. He's well forward here as Norwich attack the Barclay end for the final time this season. 10 minutes to half-time. Norwich are 3-0 up on BBC Radio Norfolk. Half-time we'll hear a preview to tomorrow's Norfolk Senior Cup final. 3 local cup finals being played here on the pitch at Carrow Road tomorrow. In the Women's Cup final, Norwich against Melbarton, and the Men's Norfolk Senior Cup final, which is Wroxham against Norwich City under-21s. Jacob Wright with a foul and a yellow card. He dragged back Dylan Lawler there. And you can see just how eager Norwich are, aren't they? Every time they lose possession, they just want to get it back inside that Cardiff half.
And it's good to see, Chris. You mean like they could easily rest on their laurels now, but like 3-0 up, in control, complete control of the game. When they do lose possession, like you say, you want to see some desire and passion in getting the ball back, and that's what they've been doing.
Well, we were expecting a bit of a dramatic day at the bottom of the table. It may not be, because it's just looking really grim for Luton. They are 3-1 down at West Brom. And Luton were outside the bottom 3 at the start of the day, but Hull are winning away at Portsmouth, so that would mean curtains for Luton Town. They would be going down, despite a decent run towards the end of the season, leaving themselves too much to do. They are a point adrift of safety, a point adrift of Derby, as things stand I'm just looking at the table as it is at the moment. Stoke and Hull a further point on. At the top of the table, or the playoff positions I should say, it's looking really, really tight for those last 2 places. That looks like it might go to the wire. Norwich in control. Jack Wilshere just clapping his hands together, urging his team not to let the tempo drop here. It just has in the last 10 minutes or so since Cardiff made those changes, but now they're stepping it up. Forster and McConville exchange passes. McConville passed it on the ground into the penalty area. It's behind Sargent. It should be cleared by Cardiff. His rule as the Cardiff skipper. Norwich chasing him down and not making it easy. He's managed to get it towards Ashford on that right-hand side. Good bit of skill there from the youngster. Plays it up towards Salek, who's got a lonely task up there now, playing up front for Cardiff, and he's won a free kick there. Salek did well. Danish striker, 6'5", 7 goals in 21 games since arriving in January. And that is a difficult job, isn't it? Your team's down to 10 men, it's a rearguard action, and you've got to be the lone striker, but that's the sort of thing you've got to do.
Absolutely, ball's played into him, he's got to earn free kicks, or he's got to allow his teammates to go up the pitch. Did really well there. Duffy maybe a little lucky to get away, not to get a yellow card for that.
That's what Salek was saying. Here comes Ashford for Cardiff. That could be another free kick. Kenny McLean's turned to plead his innocence. Ashford went down, and there's a wagging finger from Kenny McLean, both at the referee and at Kean Ashford.
It's a foul.
accusing him of going down. Actually, Cardiff have just got to grips with it a bit more now, haven't they? They were 3-0 down after 23 minutes. Here we are now in the 38th, and it hasn't got any worse for them. In just the last few minutes, they've regained a little bit of control. They've stopped Norwich from playing.
Yeah, I think they had to stem the tide, really, and that's what they've done now. Manager's done well by putting 2 more defensive players on, and they've got to rely on the counter-attacks and have the big striker in Salek. When he does the balls, he's played up, and he's got to make sure he keeps possession.
Robertson's free kick for Cardiff, played into the penalty area. McConville holds it away calmly, and it's going to be a throw-in for Cardiff. Level of the Norwich City penalty area on the left-hand side. Cardiff only winning 1 of their last 12 matches. One of the worst defensive records in the league. The 3 they've let in here actually means now only Plymouth have conceded more goals. A long throw-in coming up though, which O'Dowd is going to take from the left-hand side, looking to loop it into the Norwich box. Gunner's come for it. He gets a fist to it. It's hit Jack Stacey. It's still in the Norwich penalty area. Cardiff have reacted. O'Dowd puts in a low cross from the left-hand side. Shot comes in, it's blocked. Then Ashford tries a shot, and there's Sargent to block it. And the counter-attack could be on if Sainz can get past Capaccio here. He can't. Capacchio's done really well, the youngster, just to stop Sargent, or Sainz rather, from breaking. He had Sargent up in front of him. But the 17-year-old was so determined there not to let Borja Sainz get away from him, and it's to his credit, considering he's playing for a team that already
absolutely great opportunity there for Norwich. If Sainz would have passed the ball longer, then Sargent would have had a free running goal.
So 3-0 to Norwich City. We've got 5.5 minutes to go until half-time. The ball is back with Cardiff in their own penalty area. One of the substitutes who they've sent on to try and keep the score down, really. Joe Bagan plays it back to the goalkeeper Horvath. They got from Nottingham Forest last year. Bright pick today. He's been given a little chance with the 3 goals that Norwich have scored. Won a superb curling free kick from Nunez. He's taken his tally to 6 for the season today with 2 goals. Sainz also getting 1. And here is Nunez for Norwich City through the midfield. Haven't seen a real sparky Norwich attack for a little while now, but they're in control of the game. Here's McConville, puts his foot on the ball just over the halfway line. Lays it off to Doyle, well known from Manchester City. In the centre of defence again for Norwich today. Game's being played at a walking pace at the moment. And Nunez from deep hoists a high ball out towards the right-hand side. He picks out Jack Stacey beautifully, much to the appreciation of the Norwich fans. McConville now works it into the penalty area. Sargent shows for it, sets up Stacey. He heads it down. It's loose. It's come for Forson. Oh, what a hit from Forson! And it just clips perhaps the top of the crossbar, the top of the goal net on its way over. We saw what he could do when he came on with that incredible double salvo against Coventry late in the game, and that was some hit as well.
No, absolutely. Ever since the conversation with the manager 15-20 minutes ago, Forson's been real dynamite in that midfield areas, winning possession, playing through balls, breaking the lines. So he's done really well, and he was very unlucky with that left-footed shot. It's just gone over the bar.
High ball cleared away by Cardiff. It's going to come off a Norwich head and go out of play for a throw-in. 4 minutes to go to half-time. Norwich themselves, I mentioned Cardiff's poor run of form. Remember, Norwich have only won 1 of their last 11, and at home, and I think home form, sounds obvious really, it's key because it really sets the mood, doesn't it? This is where the supporters see you play. They've only won 2 of their last 8 home games, so that's one of the reasons why, regardless of who the manager is, they really needed to win here on this final day. That was late from Stacey. Left something on O'Dowd there. Could well get a card, and I don't think he can complain about it.
Unnecessary. Like you say about the home form, Norwich really over the past few years, Carrow Road's been a fortress, and this season, I mean, the stats, the home form has not been good enough.
Yeah.
Or consistent anyway.
Before today, 9 wins, but 8 draws, 5 defeats. It's certainly not promotional playoff form, that. And when you consider they've only won 4 away games, it's one of the many reasons. There's lots of things to work on here over the summer if Norwich City are to be the force next season. Cardiff giving the ball away, but McLean couldn't quite squirt it up there towards Sainz, and Cardiff have got it back. They have it on halfway. Nice touch there from Capacchio on the right-hand side. Cardiff moving it forward with a bit of confidence now. Here's Alex Robertson. Gets past Jack Stacey, plays it along the ground towards the Cardiff left, and O'Dowd in a bit of room. Comes forward, takes on Forson. Great tackle though from Magua Forson, and Norwich have got the chance to turn Cardiff here. Forson's charging diagonally inside, then tries to split the Cardiff defence with a pass that is cut out by Dylan Lawler, who's just come on as a substitute. Now Cardiff return it, only Salek up there all by himself in the Norwich half. But he'll hold it up here, the big day. He'll take on McConville. He'll leave McConville sprawling on the floor. Strong front play from Salek into the penalty area. Works a shooting opportunity, and Gunn's there with his feet again to put it behind for a corner. Rory McConville learning a lot about the championship there, because
he's a big, strong striker.
He's a real outlet, isn't he, Yusuf Salek?
Yeah, and that's what McConville needs to learn going forward. I know he's young, and I know it's the first time he's playing regularly in a competitive game in the championship, whatever. You're going to get these week in, week out as a central defender, so he has to learn how to use his strength against the more powerful strikers.
He's tall, McConville, but he's a bit of a beanpole, isn't he? And Salek, a more powerful player. We saw it there. Corner for Cardiff, played in left-hand side. Norwich going to head to it, comes back out towards the left-hand side. Now Ashford teeing up Capaccio here, the teenager from deep. He's 25 yards out. I think he might hit one. He does, but it hits a Norwich player and it cannons kindly. And Norwich are on the counter-attack with Jack Stacey. It's 2 against 2 at the moment. Stacey carries it up over halfway, slightly sells Sainz short with the pass. But Sainz is going to try and take on Capaccio, who eventually drags him back. And it is a free kick to Norwich City halfway inside the Cardiff half. They didn't quite make the most of a promising break there, did they? And I think one thing I've heard said about Norwich this season, if they're to add one attribute to the team over the summer, maybe a bit of pace going forward.
Yep, and you take Sargent out of the equation, and I think that one thing has gone against Sainz. As good as he is technically, he hasn't got that pace to get away from defenders, and it was evident there when Stacey was trying to hopefully get someone with pace and whatever, so he can play it in front. He had to play it to Sainz's to feet, and he had to check back and allow the Cardiff defenders to recover.
Got some talented players, Norwich, but in that position when they've got a chance to break up the field, it is not the fastest team you've ever seen, is it, over the ground? No. But they've got a free kick, 35 yards from goal. Now, do you think Nunez is going to try one?
I think it's about 5 yards probably further away.
Well, he's put one in already.
He's going to have a go.
This would be 100%. Some way to complete the hat-trick. I can hear a few fans shouting shoot for Nunez. They're 3-0 up, last minute of the first half. He is going to shoot. Oh, and the goalkeeper pushes it out. Oh, and Sargent just got his legs in a muddle with the rebound. And it's gone screwing out of play for a throw in. Well, fantastic. You can't really blame him for having a pop from there.
And it was a great strike as well. It must have been moving because the keeper struggled there. Sargent couldn't get his feet right and scuffed the ball out, but great effort from Nunez again.
It's a strange save, wasn't it, from Hall? I mean, he did the job, so we shouldn't be too critical, but
there must have been some movement on the ball.
Yeah, he seemed to be doing that thing that defenders do where they block the ball and try not to use their hands. He sort of chested it away, didn't he? But he did the job, and that's all you can do as a goalkeeper. Foul, free kick to Cardiff on halfway, so we're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this half. It's not quite been the carnival that we thought it might be since that third Norwich goal, but I think in truth, Norwich being 3-0 up after 23 minutes, it's just forced Cardiff to, as Rob Newman quite rightly said, just limit the damage.
Damage limitation.
Yeah, get extra defenders on there, make sure it doesn't get any worse, and Norwich are comfortable. But here come Cardiff at the end of the half with Ashford out towards the right-hand side and Capaccio, but Doyle does brilliantly there. Whacks the ball against the shins of Capaccio, behind for a goal kick to Norwich City. So, I mean, it's always sad for players like Angus Gunn, who I think necessarily wanted to leave Norwich City. Onel Hernandez certainly not, and they'll get the opportunity to wave goodbye in the second half. Sorensen as well, and it's great. But in a way, they're lucky to get that opportunity because so many players leave football clubs, and you just see a press release or a statement on the website. You don't get that moment with the fans, so they are fortunate in that end, aren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And credit to Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere would have made the decision to make Angus Gunn captain today, and I think it's a really, really fitting statement to. So he leaves on a high tonight and gets fully appreciated by the crowd today.
You think about someone like Grant Hanley, who captained the club for so long and to promotion, but left the club in January midweek and
thanks very much.
Just didn't get any of this. So yes, it's unfortunate for players who are leaving, but it's good that they get to do it in this way. Nice from right onto McConville, who comes forward from the back, 25 yards out. Stacey on the right-hand side to Forson, 25 yards out. Forson plays it into the penalty area, headed up and away by Cardiff. It's going to fall for Sainz on the edge of the box. Sainz needs another couple in this game if he's to get the golden boot in the championship, but he's not getting any more in this half. He's got the one of 3 goals for Norwich City, and for Jack Wilshere, it's turning into sort of afternoon that he not really possibly even dreamed of. Yeah, make the most of this, everybody, because it isn't very often that you can watch Norwich City with the pressure off and the stress as low as this, because yes, nothing to play for in terms of going up and going down, but they're 3-0 up and playing against 10 men. Another change made at half-time by Cardiff. They've taken off Joe Rawls, the captain in midfield, and Ruben Colwell's come on. A third change already for Cardiff in this game. Here come Norwich. Remind you of the lineups in just a moment. Sargent's just given the ball away to Colwell. His blue socks roll down his ankles, and he's taking the game to Norwich on the right-hand side here for Cardiff as they attack the Barkley end. But Sargent, having given the ball away, tracked him all the way back and ends up winning the challenge. Lovely back heel there from Kenny McLean. And Norwich are in possession deep inside their own half, with Gunn in goal, with the Barkley end behind him for one last time as the Norwich City goalkeeper. McConville, Duffy, Doyle and McLean the defenders. Wright, Nunez and Forson in midfield. Stacey on the right, Sights on the left. Josh Sargent up front. I'm sure we'll see Sorensen and Hernandez for their Norwich City bows at some point off the bench as Doyle floats one forward. Borja Sainz controls that one with the number 7 on the back of his shirt. It's impressive. Trouble is he was offside and the flag goes
a bit
up.
showboating there from Sainz. I mean, like I said, if I was the right back, I'd have noticed that one, and Sainz better look out for the next 10 minutes.
Yes, but the flag was up. So we'll, of course, keep you in touch with goals as they go in elsewhere, but it looks like Luton are going down. Coventry in the playoffs because they lead Middlesbrough 1-0, and Bristol City, Rob's old team, just about hanging on there at the moment. They, though, are losing at home to Preston. Norwich battling for possession deep inside their own half, and Wright doing well to find Nunez, who scored twice in the first half. Here's Forson. Rare start for him. He's got the ball in behind the Cardiff defence, but it's really good covering from Lawler. He just managed to get there before Sainz, and now Salek is flagged offside as Cardiff go long. So Cardiff have now got Horvath in goal, Capaccio and Fish, and Lawler and Bagan and O'Dowda across the back, with the midfielders now with the other change at half-time. They've now got Colwell in midfield alongside Robertson, with Ashford and Salek doing the best to try and lead a counter-attack when the opportunity presents itself. Here's Sights on the left-hand side for Norwich City. He's got McLean outside, Sights in front of him, left wing, level with the Cardiff penalty area as Norwich look for a 4th goal. 3-0 up already. Clever from Sights. He's picked out McLean, who sweeps across into the box, too far in front of Sargent. Stacey coming around the back, couldn't get there. Norwich have got a corner, and this, Rob Newman, and 3-0 up. This is Norwich's first corner of the match.
Yeah, fantastic ball in there from Kenny McLean. He's done a few of them in the first half as well. So, I mean, just technically the guy is very, very good in situations like that, out wide in offensive areas. He put a real teasing ball there that was maybe if you was a boy putting the ball in, you'd want a forward to get on it, but it was a fantastic ball, and like you say, Norwich have got the first corner in the second half.
Yeah, 3-0 up, Norwich City. 2 from Nunez, 1 a brilliant free kick, 1 from Sainz, and Cardiff, in between the first 2 Norwich goals, had Callum Chambers sent off. He was red carded after just 15 minutes for bringing down Josh Sargent, which is why it's been a more comfortable afternoon than otherwise it might have done. The referee here, Will Finney, is having a long chat with 2 of the Cardiff players as they get ready to defend Norwich's first corner. Norwich have become a bit more of a threat from set pieces towards the end of this season. Jacob Wright's been taking some good corners. This time, though, he's gone short to Forson. Back to Wright on the right-hand side. He delivers a cross, picks out Sights in space, in the D! Oh, and he puts it just over the top. Well, I don't know if that was a well-worked set-piece routine, but Sights was allowed so much room on the edge of the penalty area. Brought the ball down. Nobody closed him down, and it was just a case of whether he could curl it around all of those defenders and into the top corner, and he wasn't far away.
Yeah, no, I'd like to say that is a well-worked routine, and very unlucky. Controlled volley just over the bar. Good to see. Like to see variation on free kicks and whatever. That certainly was a good free kick. Whether the missing man from Cardiff would have been on that box there, but it was well worked, and very unlucky.
Down to the pockets for Jack Wilshere. You see a close-up of him on our monitor. It is indeed that grey cardigan he's wearing again, white t-shirt, smart grey trousers and white trainers. Against his former Arsenal teammate Aaron Ramsey, who's not finding life quite as comfortable on the side of the pitch at the moment. 3-0 to Norwich City, and the Canaries in possession again. Cardiff, they should expect, down to 10, just looking to limit the damage. They've got 5 at the back. It's sort of a 5-2-2 they're playing at the moment, which is allowing Norwich City a bit of room, although loose there from Norwich. They've given the ball away through McConville. Salek coming through the middle, and that's given Cardiff the opportunity with Colwell, the substitute, to go past McConville on the left-hand side. Oh, then he slips, Colwell, and as he slips, the ball hits his standing foot and goes behind for a goal kick. And although it is a comfortable situation, the result of the game isn't going to change. Norwich are going to win, Rob. Still little moments like that, little bits of sloppiness, that Jack Wilshere won't appreciate that.
Yeah, poor touch from McConville there, allowed Cardiff to put a bit of pressure on as well. And I think it's a case of Norwich can go on and win this 4 and 5 if they want to. If Norwich want to sit back and take the 3-0, then they can do that as well. So I think the fans want to be sent. They want to be sent home tonight with a real positive feeling and whatever. Like, and Norwich can do that. They've got the man advantage, they've got the quality on the pitch, and they're already 3-0 up. And like you say, Chris, the game's won, but let's go and see. Let's put them under more pressure. Let's move the ball quicker. Let's see a bit more movement in terms of players and whatever. Because if you do the movement and the passing, you will get chances.
See McConville with another heavy touch, but actually this time he was fouled as he tried to make up for it, and Norwich have got the ball back in their yellow and green. Cardiff in the navy blue shirts, white shorts and navy blue socks. A little bit of control there from Norwich around the halfway line. A few little sloppy errors creeping in at the start of this second half. Maybe it's going to happen when you're 3-0 up against 10 men. Maybe that bit of complacency. Capaccio, the young Cardiff right back, clears the ball away. Right, just leave something on Kean Ashford there, and that allows Doyle to collect for Norwich City and find Duffy, who started every game this season bar one in the league. The one that he was left out of was the one that he arrived late for against Oxford at the start of March. Yanisov Torup took disciplinary action. Here's Forson on the right-hand side for Norwich City. Forson back to Duffy in the centre circle. Cardiff sitting so deep. That's allowed Duffy the room to just find Doyle on the left-hand side. Doyle plays it into the penalty area. McLean to the left of goal. Didn't think he could get there. And it goes for home for a goal kick. Callum Doyle, at least before the start of the game today, more assists than anybody else for Norwich this season in the league, with 7. Not bad for a defender.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's got a fantastic left foot, and he has got that ability to hit the long pass as well over the defence. But as Cardiff are playing now, they are playing deep in a back lane of 5, so there's no space behind them, so you've got to move the ball quicker, and it's going to be little 5 and 10 yards passes that break the back line to give the forward runners of Norwich a chance.
Now we've got another playoff contender coming up on the rails here, Rob. I can tell you, your old team Bristol City have just been knocked out of the top 6 in the as it stands table. I'll tell you why in a moment, but here comes Colwill, the Cardiff substitute. Over on the left hand side, there's a player available. He's got it now, plays it infield towards Robertson. Good interception from Nunez. Cardiff will retrieve possession with Colwill. He finds Capaccio in a central position. Risky pass from him back into his own half, but it's paid off, and Lawler is able to get possession. Blackburn, who looked out of the playoff race a few weeks ago, they've had a really strong end to the season. They've just gone 1-0 up at Sheffield United, are preparing for the playoffs, and because Bristol City are losing at home, Blackburn have now nipped into 6th place, which is amazing, really. They were in a really poor run of form a few weeks ago and looked out of it, but they've done what Norwich couldn't and have managed to turn it round and have got themselves, as it stands, into the top 6. But we'll keep you up to date with that one. 1-0 to Blackburn at Sheffield United, which is a huge goal. And Bristol City have been in the top 6 for the last few weeks of the season, dropping out at the moment. Here's O'Dowda with a powerful run forward on the left-hand side. Plays it towards the edge of the penalty area. Ashford for Cardiff, twisting and turning and shooting. Big deflection. And it goes for a corner. It's not been a particularly slick start to this second half for Norwich City, has it?
No, like I say, they've started this half. They started the game. I mean, Cardiff have sort of taken some control of the game now, which was surprising, seeing they're a man down. But Norwich have to be aware. They have to be more sort of like careful in keeping ball retention as well. But like I say, Cardiff are just coming back into the game, and Norwich have to be wary of the threat they carry.
Cardiff corner. Norwich 3-0 up. A few yellow balloons, and in fact the man taking the corner has been hit by a beach ball. It's been thrown from the Barclay. Corner now played in. Header from Salek. It was a free header. Glanced it wide in the end though, and it's a goal kick. Cardiff down to 10. 3-0 down at Carrow Road, but Norwich standards just slipping a little bit at the start of this half. But I mean, subconsciously you're 3-0 up against
difficult.
10 men. It must happen.
It is difficult. You just want to see a bit more urgency, a bit more quality on the ball, a bit more movement away from
Nunez and Sainz are linking up well, and Sainz has got away on the left-hand side. Holds the ball in play by the byline, despite the best efforts of Lawler to tackle him. And Sainz tries the nutmeg, and Lawler blocks it and plays it up towards the striker Salek, all by himself here on halfway. He's got 3 Norwich defenders up against him, and he's got past all of them. This is really good, determined play from Salek. Carries the ball forward, goes past right, into the penalty area Salek, and then goes down under the challenge of Doyle, and a penalty is given. Well, that was superb forward play there from Salek. Yusuf Salek got the ball inside his own half up against 3 defenders, but as good as it was, it's alarming for Norwich City defensively. He was allowed to run half the length of the pitch, and then a real lazy barge in the back from Doyle, and as soon as he went down, it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, no, like you say, Chris, great run, great strength from the striker there. Poor defending from Norwich from the halfway line. Sloppy, not getting tight, not the body positions all wrong and whatever, allowing him to run 50 yards with the ball, totally unacceptable, and giving Cardiff to get a chance to get back into the game.
And on his last game for Norwich City, Angus Gunn gets to face a penalty in front of the Barclay end. We've got 2 balls on the pitch at the moment.
He couldn't, could he?
Well, it would be a nice little story, wouldn't it, for Angus Gunn? There's not a great deal of pressure on this, really, is there? Because it's 3-0 anyway. But even so, I mean, Salek's going to take the penalty. He deserves it. That was so good from him. But it's just the problem for Norwich this season. No problem scoring goals, but when the defence is put under pressure, it has been too easy to play against them. So is this going to be a moment for Angus Gunn to remember with the Barclay end behind him? A penalty to Cardiff, who are 3-0 down. Salek did all the hard work, and he is going to be given the responsibility of taking a penalty. Angus Gunn going from side to side on his line is beaten. Salek tucks it in the corner of the net. Really good penalty right in the corner. No clean sheet for Angus Gunn on his last Norwich City appearance. But just a reminder that improvement is needed defensively from Norwich City. Jack Wilshere twirls his arms around, tries to get the team lifted. Cardiff have scored. Norwich 3, Cardiff 1.
Yeah, they've just gone a bit casual since since half time. They've come out probably thinking 3-0, the game's done. Listen, fair play to Cardiff. They've come out and they've given a real good account of themselves. You know what I mean, a man down, and now they're thinking they're back in this game. So listen, fair play to them. But Norwich have been casual for the first 10 minutes of the second half. So they have, like I say, they've got a real chance here to put on a show for the fan today, and they've not done it so far in the second half. 8
goals in 22 games for Salek since arriving at Cardiff. It'd be surprised if he was playing in League One next season, I think.
Judging on that run, Chris, he did really well. Receiving the ball well, up against 3 defenders in the run he made was a real good bit of forward play.
6'5", Danish striker, held off almost the entire Norwich defence there. Won a penalty. Cardiff have put it in, and that just takes the gloss off what had been a pleasing afternoon for Norwich up until that point. But they do lead 3-1. Here's Sainz, looking for McLean, who's well forward on the left-hand side. Capaccio tracking him all the way back towards the halfway line. Duffy in the centre circle for Norwich City. The pace of Norwich's movement just slowed down at the start of this second half. Doyle finds Jacob Wright 25 yards out. Cardiff pack defence, Wright loses it, and Cardiff fancy another counter-attack here. Caldwell's played it in behind the Norwich defence to Ashford. Ashford's got away from Doyle this time. Just a slightly heavy touch gives Doyle a chance to catch up, and then Kenny McLean comes and steals possession. Cardiff now under Aaron Ramsey. Actually, it's becoming not a bad audition for him, because in an impossible situation, 3-0 down with 10 men at half-time, he's managed to find a way of getting a response out of his players, hasn't he?
Absolutely, but again, it's poor decision-making in the final third from Norwich, playing balls into tight areas where they're losing possession, and Cardiff are looking to play on the counter now.
Right, here we go, Rob. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. Jack Stacey's being replaced here by Onel Hernandez, and Jack Wilshere has decided that now is the time to perhaps try and just lift the mood again at Carrow Road. Onel Hernandez comes on for his 210th and final Norwich City appearance, and so does Jakob Sorensen. He replaces Rory McConville. For Sorensen, it is a 110th Norwich City appearance. He's going to go and play it right back. It's his final appearance as well, and applause for both those players who've been, in their own ways, terrific servants to the club.
Like you say, I think Jack's noticed that there needs to be a lift in what better to do that and put on 2 players that have been real stalwarts for the club over the last few years.
Here comes Nunez for Norwich, who's got Sainz on the left corner of the penalty area. Sainz back to Nunez, who's on a hat-trick! Oh, and he puts that one over the top. Hernandez has gone to play on the right wing, as you'd expect. He's got Sorensen behind him in the right-back position. So that right-hand side for Norwich City has a very different look about it. And I mean, I don't know, in your career, Rob, were you in this position where you were playing a game and you knew it was going to be your last one for the club? I wonder how different it feels.
Yeah, no, I think you just want to go out and you want to go out on a high. I mean, A, you want to win the game, but B, you want to be out there and be involved in a match that you've won convincingly, and hopefully Norwich will go on to win this game convincingly, and that's what they'll be doing.
I can tell you that Leeds have equalised at Plymouth. That one's 1-1. Because Burnley are drawing 1-1 with Millwall, that would mean that Leeds under Daniel Farke would be champions, and West Brom have got a 4th against Luton. 4-1 to West Brom. Luton are going down by the looks of it. Forson plays it in behind the Cardiff defence. His Sainz goes round the goalkeeper, but takes it wide in doing so. Goes down under the challenge of Lawler, who chased him through, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick. opened up there nicely for Sainz. Keeper came out as he had to. Just a slightly heavy touch from Borja.
No, I think it was a wrong decision. I think he's tried to take it around the keeper when he should have just flipped it up over his left shoulder.
Now, I mentioned that Luton had conceded again in a 4-1 down. But they might be about to get a little bit of help because Portsmouth have equalised against Hull. Remember, Hull started the day in the bottom 3. So another goal for Portsmouth would actually put Hull back in the bottom 3 and would rescue Luton despite the fact they're 4-1 down at West Brom. It's not over yet at the bottom of the table. Norwich leading 3-1 against Cardiff City here. Blackburn and Coventry are taking the... Although I'm just looking, my league table here is updated to show Bristol City back in the top 6, Rob. So I'll try and have a look in a minute, see if I can tell you why that is. But we're just watching Cardiff build on the left-hand side. Hernandez going to work for Norwich City right on halfway. Just can't quite get it for Norwich City. Cardiff moving the ball nicely at the start of this second half. Ashford has got Capacchio, the youngster, outside him on the right-hand side. Level with the penalty area. Brings it into the box. Tackled by Kenny McLean. Helped by Sainz. Ball goes behind. Goal kick given. So there must have been another goal in one of those other games. I imagine that Sheffield United must have equalised in their game against Blackburn, Rob, and your old team must be back in the top 6 for that reason. Let's have a look, shall we? Sheffield United, yes, have equalised against Blackburn. Did I just see that Bristol City, I think, are 2 down now? Did I just see? Yeah, Bristol City are 2 down. Thanks. So they are going to be in the top 6, and it's now 5-1 to West Brom against Luton. Luton a win to stay up, and they're 5-1 down. But if Portsmouth can score against Hull, Luton would stay up.
Mate. There's going to be some twists and turns yet in the last 30 minutes.
It's incredible. Where will Norwich be going next season in the Championship? They won't be going to Cardiff, but they will be going to Wrexham, so there'll still be 2 trips to Wales next year. 3-1 Norwich lead. Here's Kenny McLean up towards Sargent. Now Jacob Wright takes over and plays it along the ground and out to Onel Hernandez, and Carrow Road rises to see whether Onel Hernandez can make something happen on his last appearance. From the byline, he crosses from the right, goalkeeper pushes it out to Nunez, whose shot is deflected over. Could have been a hat-trick, instead it's a corner. Well, Hernandez, whatever you think about him, is often the amount of goals he's got, the end product hasn't quite lived up to what he can do, but something always seems to happen when he's on the pitch.
Absolutely, he's got that burst of pace, put the ball in the corridor, uncertainty there, keeper parried out, and Nunez was unlucky enough to get a hat-trick there. Good defending. Good defending.
Norwich have got, where are we, the 63rd minute, so plenty of time yet. Norwich 3, Cardiff 1. Cardiff down to 10 if you're just joining us, as they have been since the 15th minute. Here comes a Norwich corner, right from the right-hand side, plays it in. Sorensen nearly got his head to it, cleared away by Colwell. He's another one playing his last game for Norwich today. Sorensen, 4 goals in 109 appearances before today. Player who has been so useful in so many different positions that's ended up being to his detriment. He's never nailed down a regular place in the team. Here's Sainz on the left-hand side for Norwich City, teasing the teenager Capacchio, who stands up to him really well here and forces Sainz back towards halfway. And in the end, it becomes a bit of a 50-50. McLean steals the ball and then tells Sainz that ought to have done a little bit better there, in no uncertain terms. Here is Kenny McLean for Norwich City. Strokes it to the left-hand side, and Doyle. Nunez in front of him, tight to the touchline on the left. Every Cardiff player back. They're looking well organised in this second half. Aaron Ramsey has got a real response from his team, who were in an impossible position. 3-0 down at half-time with 10 men, but they've actually pulled one back. Sorensen to Forson. Oh, that's a foul. Late there from the defender Bagan on Forson, and Norwich have a free kick. Right-hand side, too wide for a shot, you would think, not far away from the corner of the penalty area. Oh, it could be a yellow card as well for that challenge from Bagan, and he was late, wasn't he, on Amankwa Forson. Yellow card for him.
I think Norwich look better when they move the ball quicker. They need to move when it's too slow. It's easy for Cardiff to defend in a back 5 and a 3, to put men behind the ball. So when Norwich move the ball quicker and they penetrate the lines, it gives Cardiff more to think about and makes more of a threat for Norwich offensive unit.
Right, Norwich free kick. Jacob Wright stands over it. He's going to curl this one into the penalty area. Duffy, Sorensen, McLean. You've got Doyle, you've got Sargent. Plenty to aim for here as Norwich look for a 4th goal. Right, clips the free kick into the penalty area, too close to the goalkeeper, who rather dramatically punches that ball away. I was expecting him just to catch that, the former Forest keeper, Ethan Horvath. But he punched it away, and Norwich got a throw in from it, and they've taken it fairly quickly, and they've moved it to Nunez, furthest player back for Norwich City, and he's halfway inside the Cardiff half. He's going to hit a shot that is charged down. When you've got 2 goals already, he fancies a spectacular hat-trick. Not happening this time. Jack Wilshere animated. Norwich's interim manager urging his team on. He'd like a little bit more from them in this position. Position of such strength, play against 10 men, but a 3-0 lead has become 3-1 after some sloppy play at the start of this second half. Here's Doyle on the left for Norwich City. Knocks it back towards McLean on halfway. McLean and Wright exchange passes. Cardiff dropping off, allowing Norwich to have it around the halfway line. And Wright will now find Sorensen. Another Norwich change coming. Svartau is going to come on. Here's Hernandez on his last Norwich appearance. A step over on the right-hand side. And he's cut it back towards Wright on the edge of the penalty area, whose shot is deflected away. And that will be a corner. Certainly with Hernandez playing on that right wing rather than Jack Stacey. You do get a bit more of a natural attacking option, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think Norwich players have to stay wide. If they stay wide, it gives them chance there. And when Hernandez was on the ball, he picked out, I think it was, who was it then?
It was Wright who hit the shot.
Yeah, it was Wright who hit the shot, making runs in there. Good pick out from Hernandez, unlucky, and good defending again from the Cardiff defender. Corner
to Norwich, left-hand side. Jacob Wright gets ready for it. In fact, he's going to leave it for Sainz, who is just going to knock it short for Jacob Wright, who now will cross towards the far post. Oh, Nunez is coming around the back, unmarked! Oh, his shot is saved by the goalkeeper. Another clever routine that. Short corner, and Nunez came almost from wide into the penalty area. No one saw him, and he got the shot on the ground. The goalkeeper kicks it wide, and that wasn't far away from a Nunez hat-trick.
Another one where I think the set-piece coach will be patting himself on the back, on the dugout there. Really well worked. Unlucky for Nunez coming around the back.
Here he comes
Good
again.
save from the keeper.
Another corner for Norwich as they look for a fourth goal, leading 3-1 midway through this second half. Jacob Wright with another corner for Norwich City from the right-hand side, played into the penalty area now. Header from Duffy. There is goal number 4 from Norwich's number 4. They really have become a danger from set pieces in this later stage of the season. Jacob Wright, one of the players Norwich would like to sign in the summer. And his set piece is a real asset. High ball into the penalty area. Duffy, nobody was going to get there before him. Determined, heads the ball in. And Norwich City lead by 4 goals to 1 on this final day of the season.
Yeah, great ball into the danger area. Duffy, like he does time and time again, attacks the ball, wipes Sorensen out in the process, but a real dominant header from the centre half. And to be fair, he's been one of the probably consistent performers of the team this year. There's been a lot of criticism about him as well, but what Shane Duffy does is play with his heart on his sleeve, and that's reward for him today. Great cross and great header.
Yeah, Forson's going off here. He's had a really good performance today. A reminder of what Norwich City have already got at the club. Not a player who's particularly been heralded this season. It's only it's the first time he's started a league game since November today. He's had injury problems as well. He's gone off. Oscar Svartau comes on. He doesn't turn 19 until later this month, but how useful would this season be for him? This is the 42nd appearance he's made for Norwich City at the age of 18.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You look at him, and his physical profile is really good. And like I say, he's one of them ones you say, listen, where are Norwich going to go in the future? This guy could be here for the next 5-10 years. So like I say, he's got the physical attributes and whatever. He's just got to come, and he's got to really stamp his authority, which I'm sure he will over the coming months and seasons.
Cardiff are making their final 2 changes as well. They're taking off Robertson and Pacquiao. Willock has come on for Robertson to play in midfield. The former Arsenal man. Pacquiao is being replaced by Tanatsua Nakayua, who is coming on for his debut, the 19-year-old, who's a Welsh youth international. He is going to come on and play at right back with his team 4-1 down. So goals elsewhere. Burnley now lead against Millwall. Leeds are still drawing in their game at Plymouth, which puts Burnley top of the table and would make them champions, with Leeds going up in second place. And Luton have scored at the Hawthorns against West Brom, but they're now losing 5-2. So they still need some help from elsewhere. They still need a Portsmouth goal against Hull. That one 1-1. The last we saw. Bristol City are back in the playoff positions at the moment, along with Coventry. 20 minutes to go here on this final day of the season, and Norwich in a comfortable position. 4-1 up against Cardiff City. Loose there though from Cardiff. Sargent goes chasing it. Amazing that Norwich have scored 4 and Sargent hasn't got any of them. He won't be happy about that, I'm sure, as Doyle plays one forward. And again, Nunez has possession just inside the Cardiff half. Doyle knocks it back towards Shane Duffy. It's a It's a really important point, Jacob Wright, from the set pieces. Norwich have now scored, if you include the Nunez free kick today, 6 goals in 5 games from set pieces at the end of this season. And bearing in mind they struggled all season to be a threat from set plays, that is significant, isn't it?
Yeah, a large percentage of the goals come from set pieces, and if you've got someone sort of like prepared to put the hours in different variations of set pieces, you will get rewarded with them. And like you say, it's been a real success for Norwich in recent games.
Goal back for Bristol City against Preston. Bristol City 1, Preston 2. At the moment, though, results elsewhere mean Bristol City would hold on in the playoffs and Preston would stay up. Here's Duffy. Looks for Hernandez on the right-hand side. Here comes the Cuban. Can he make something happen for Norwich? Corner of the penalty area. Plenty of yellow shirts forward. Just outside him is Sorensen. Sorensen's crossed into the box. McLean stretching to get round there. Headed behind by the youngster who's just come on. Nakayua heads it behind, and Norwich have got another corner. And as we've seen, they can make things happen from these sort of positions now.
A good cross in from Sorensen there. Well defended by the young lad at the far post. Ken McLean's had the goal sights in his eyes, but good defending. 20
minutes to go. Norwich 4, Cardiff 1 on this final day of the season. Another live football commentary for you tomorrow, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But let's see what happens with this corner from right, played in, near post, headed by Cardiff. It's going to fall for McLean on the edge of the box, though. Back heel to Schwartau. Well worked. McLean, corner of the penalty area, sweeps in the cross. Duffy was up again. Cleared away. Best he's ever scored in his career is 5 in a season. Shane Duffy's got 4 now with that one that he got a few moments ago. Nunez, high, hanging ball forward. Schwartau heads it down, but isn't anyone close enough to him. And it's been picked up by one of the most recent Cardiff substitutes, Willock, who gives it to Colwill. Break on for Cardiff. The youngster Ashford sprinting away in space. On the right-hand side, he's got Salek in the middle. Ashford with a step over, taking on Doyle. And in the end, really, Doyle's able to block the cross. And I think Salek is glaring Ashford there. He had every chance to play that ball in much earlier.
Poor decision from the Cardiff player. Good defender from Doyle, though.
There's Lawler for Cardiff on the right-hand side. Norwich have now been able to get players back. They've dropped in and been put under a little bit of pressure there by a Cardiff team who, in difficult circumstances, haven't given a bad account of themselves in this second half. Down to 10 men since the 15th minute when Callum Chambers was sent off. Here's Colwell to Lawler on the right-hand side. I think that spells why Cardiff are going down, that even when they're giving a good account of themselves, they're still 4-1 down. And now Doyle is needlessly tangling there with Ashford, and he's going to get a yellow card. And actually Doyle, when he's been tested defensively in this game, he's given away a penalty. He's now been booked.
Struggled a bit.
Yeah. Be interesting to see where Doyle ends up next season. A Manchester City asset player they thought enough of, actually. They didn't let him come to Norwich quite as early last summer as Norwich wanted, because Pep Guardiola wanted him on the pre-season tour with the first team, so it says a lot for him.
Yeah,
but it will be fascinating to see where he ends up next season. Here come Cardiff through the middle. They've taken the free kick quickly to Ashford, who's going to hit a shot. Gunn had it covered, it goes wide, and it's a goal kick. Still 4-1. So I'm sure. I mean, Doyle's not going to suddenly be first choice at Manchester City, is he? So
no, and that's probably why. I mean, he would. Pep was quite acute on recognising talents and whatever. Like I say, in pre-season, he'll have a look at all of them. But the fact is, he's been allowed to go on loan. Probably his future lies away from Man City.
If Man City want him on loan again, though, you would think probably having had a couple of seasons in the Championship, they'd want a Premier League loan next year.
Yeah,
think.
but the fact is, he hasn't been on the Premier League. Probably Premier League thinks he's not Premier League standard.
It's a fair point, and I think Norwich probably would have him back if they could. But we should see. Sorensen on halfway for Norwich, out towards Hernandez on the right wing. Hernandez to right, another player who's on loan from Manchester City, who the vibes are much more likely to sign on a permanent basis for Norwich City. But he couldn't get to grips with Colwill there, and Cardiff have got in again behind Norwich. Salek, the goal scorer, left corner of the penalty area. He's got support inside the box. He lays it off towards Colwill. Ball loops up in the air as the challenge comes in. McLean heads it away. Picked up again by Salek on the edge of the penalty area. Norwich 4-1 up, but being tested again here as Cardiff put the ball forward towards Ashford on the right-hand side. Ashford does well there to get a corner off Nunez. Nunez passes the ball back to his goalkeeper to say, I've done my job there, that'll be a goal kick, but no, corner given.
Yeah, again, like I said, Cardiff get in and too easy, sort of like Norwich defenders are allowing them to get into areas that could make them really vulnerable. So have to be sharper in defensive.
Corner to Cardiff. 16 minutes to go. Norwich lead by 4-1. And Willock, who He got from QPR in July, is going to take this corner at the Barclay end. Norwich are leaving Saints up. But it'll be Chris Willock's corner from the right-hand side for Cardiff City at the Barclay end. Delivered now towards the near post, headed away by Doyle. And this is why it's good to leave Saints up, because straight away there's uncertainty about Cardiff, and he's battling for it. And there's appeals for handball there as Saints loses possession in the challenge. It's not been given. Cardiff put it back in the penalty area. Doyle heads it away. It's now for a throw-in. It is fascinating though, isn't it, Rob, that so often you hear fans saying, why don't we leave a player up? And it's useful sometimes.
Absolutely. If you leave a player up, the opposition leaves 2 players back. So that's a positive to start with.
Right, and when you do clear it away,
you've got someone up there to fight for the ball.
And here's Sargent fighting for the ball, deep inside his own half, but winning that fight, holding off Colwill. And now steaming over the halfway line here, Josh Sargent. Oh, good tackle comes in from Bacon in the end, took the ball on and left Sargent in a heap. It was a good tackle. Sargent stays down, I think he'll be okay. Norwich carry on. Equaliser for Bristol City against Preston, 2-2. McCrory, the defender's got both the goals, so 2 goals in 5 minutes for Bristol City. They look as if they are going to finish in the playoffs. 4-1 here to Norwich City against Cardiff. McLean with a 50-50 against the young substitute Nakayua. It's cleared away. Comes to Sorensen on halfway for Norwich City. Here's Schwartau. Now Duffy, Norwich's most recent goal scorer, has possession on halfway. Cardiff dropping off, allowing McLean, just standing left back, to have possession. Nunez on the left-hand side. McLean goes in front of him, gets in a good position here to cross from the left. There is the cross behind Sargent, headed out by Cardiff. Jacob Wright tries to keep the pressure on with a looping header that's picked out Hernandez on the right corner of the penalty area. He's tussling with O'Dowda. They've both gone down. They both pick themselves up. The battle goes on. Hernandez emerges with the ball and wins a corner. And in a game that's effectively over as a contest, little scraps, little moments like that are going to keep the fans involved.
And that's what he's all about, Hernandez. He wears his heart on his sleeve and whatever. Like, you know, great play from the defender and from now Hernandez there, and he was rewarded with a corner kick.
Yeah, Preston, as I said, drawing 2-2 away at Bristol City. Be all right for them though, because Luton are going to lose, I'm sure. They're 5-2 down at West Brom, and they're going down unless Portsmouth can score against Hull. Corner to Norwich. 4-1 up against Cardiff City here. Right with the corner from the right-hand side, played in. It's gone all the way through here to Borja Sainz in the penalty area, shooting position, gets the shot in and it's blocked. So many players to try and fire it through. It's fallen for Wright, who crosses it again. Duffy's there again, and this time doesn't make proper contact at the near post, and wide it goes.
And he's just saying there, saying, if it had gone on my head, I would have scored. Typical centre-half response. Not very good with my feet.
Yeah, it was played in low this time, wasn't it? And you saw Duffy stretching to try and get something on it and look for his 5th goal of the season. But no, behind it goes, and just about whether Norwich can get another goal, isn't it? 13 minutes to go, 4-1. So difficult. I mean, whatever Norwich fans thought about Jack Wilshere and whether they wanted him as permanent manager before this game, that they'll probably find something in this performance to back up whatever they thought beforehand, won't they? It's either been, a comfortable win and he deserves the job, or there's been enough in it to. You could just say it's been against 10 men and there have been a few concerns. So it's not really going to change anyone's opinion, this performance,
No, I don't think so. And you look at Cardiff's performance in this game, they've had some opportunities to score. And I think that would be a worry for any manager, whether you're interim or the manager.
Nunez, 25 yards out, perhaps going for a hat-trick. Oh, Colwill's tackled him, and Nunez has gone down very easily. It's no foul. And Cardiff are not standing on ceremony, and suddenly they've got an extra man here. It's 5 against 4. Cardiff have had a player sent off. How can they have a spare man? And they're on the attack here on the right-hand side. In the end, the challenge comes in from Doyle, and off it goes. Which side of the corner flag did it go? Corner to Cardiff. That was amazing there. Yeah. Norwich are in search of the 5th goal, and they're leaving themselves a bit short at the back.
Like I say, situations like that, which is a worry for when you come to analyse the game after, like the day after and whatever. But listen, whether it's sort of like a lack of desire, what they've shown in the main in this game, you've got to see the game out, and you can't allow situations to develop like that.
Corner to Cardiff. Norwich lead by 4-1 here against Cardiff City. 10 men Cardiff. Willock with the corner, near post, headed away by Sargent, and again, because Norwich had Saints up, they've got an option, and they're counter-attacking from the corner, and they've got 3 against 3. Borja Saints dribbling the ball forward, Schwartau available to the left, Saints now plays him in, Schwartau for Norwich, goalkeeper makes the save, a sprawling save, and Saints can't get to the rebound. That is why supporters always like seeing a man left up for the corner. What a quick break that was for Norwich City.
Great counter-attack. This game's coming a bit open now, basically.
which it can
the
do.
compactness has gone from Cardiff and from Norwich, really.
It's all getting a bit tired, isn't it, as well? And you can see it, and the players know that a lot of them have got 3 months off after this one, or at least in terms of league action. Won't be many weeks before they're back in the dreaded pre-season training. I think these days they're all given fitness routines to carry on, aren't they? There's no, you don't just go and switch
7 days off.
Yeah.
7 weeks off.
Yeah.
See you in 8 weeks.
Yes, it's not all sitting on the beach and drinking, is it? All over the summer these days. 4-1 Norwich lead. Cardiff's turn to have an attack now. This open and flowing game at the end of the season. Nakayua has the ball by the corner flag on the right-hand side. Plays it low. Clever back heel from Ashford, off right and behind. And Cardiff have got themselves another corner here at Carrow Road as they look to finish their life in the Championship with a bit of a flourish. Goal kick's been given. How is that a goal kick?
Poor decision that from the referee. Wow.
Well, referees are perhaps looking forward to a bit of time off as well. and assistant referees. You played that off, Jake.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
No, you didn't.
Okay, anyway. It's not going to be important, thankfully. It's a good job this isn't a game that's got...
Anything right in it.
Yeah, cool dear. That was a really strange call. Anyway, 4-1 to Norwich. Nunez fancies a hat-trick. Sainz wants to try and increase his chances of winning the Golden Boot. Sargent would love a goal as well. So these last 10 minutes... Onel Hernandez hasn't scored a league goal at Carrow Road since October 2019. This is his last chance. Here comes Sorensen through the midfield for Norwich City. Good run. Hernandez is available. He's been told to stay out wide on the right-hand side. He gets a touch. Plays it in field to Schwartau. Now it's back with Duffy on halfway. Very tired layoff there from Duffy to Doyle, but it's found its target because Cardiff are sitting back. Here's Sainz. Nunez, 25 yards out. Nunez into the penalty area looking for McLean. Stretched clearance from Lawler. It's going to run for Hernandez on the right wing. Onel Hernandez for Norwich City. Sets up Sorensen, who will play it in field here to Duffy. Quick pass from Duffy to Doyle. He's halfway inside the Cardiff half. Will deliver the ball into the box. Schwartau jumps, heads it across. Sainz with a clever back heel that the goalkeeper saves. That would have been some goal if he'd managed to somehow feed that one into the net.
Yeah. Again, good move from Norwich. Quick pass in. Good header across from Schwartau. And very unlucky. Tried to... an unauthentic action there from Sainz, but very unlucky.
Yeah, it was unorthodox, wasn't it? But one of those goals that really would have made any highlights reel if it had gone in. Just didn't quite get good enough contact on it with the airborne back heel. And it remains 4-1 with 8 minutes of the season to go on BBC Radio Norfolk. I mentioned another live game for you tomorrow. We've got the Norfolk Senior Cup final, as we always do, bring you that every year on BBC Radio Norfolk. It's not very often on a Sunday afternoon, but that's the case this year. Wroxham playing here at Carrow Road against Norwich City's under-21. So you can hear that. In fact, there are 3 games here at Carrow Road tomorrow. The Norfolk Women's Cup final. And also you've got the Norfolk Junior Cup final as well. Shane Duffy's shopping in for challenges inside the Cardiff half and trying to keep Cardiff occupied, but they've got it past him in the end. It's played up towards O'Dowda. Hernandez defending for Norwich City and hooks the ball away. Collected though by Willock on the left-hand side, urged forward by his interim manager, Aaron Ramsey. Steps inside here, Willock. Lays the ball off towards Ashford, 25 yards out. Space for the young substitutes on this right-hand side. Nakayua, who gets it onto his right foot, crosses. McLean cuts it out. Now that's got to be a corner. Yes, it is.
Yes.
You're never quite sure after the last one. The Cardiff fans are ironically cheering the fact they've been given
as well as the Norwich fans of the club as well.
Norwich can still make a couple of substitutions if they want to. Whether they might be tempted. Would you think they'll take Gunn off?
Maybe.
Give him an opportunity.
That, maybe in the last couple of minutes. Yeah.
We'll see. 7 minutes to go. 4-1 to Norwich. Short corner for Cardiff. Willock on the right-hand side. Has got Colwell available for support right near him, having taken the corner short. Now eventually the ball does come in from Willock. Sargent gets his head to it. It's not been cleared though. Salek for Cardiff. Oh, he scored! 4-2. 12 yards out. Managed to beautifully cut across the ball there and send it into the corner of the net. And Cardiff have another goal in their final game in the Championship. And it is Norwich City 4, Cardiff City 2. Salek here has scored twice in this second half.
Again, an inability to defend a wide cross. Ball in, poor defending at the far post. Good finish from Salek, sliced across the ball, went into the far corner. But a lot of Norwich defenders in there unable to deal with either the ball in or the second ball from the header back in towards the penalty spot where he scored.
I know it's not much of a consolation, but Cardiff are on the point of winning the second half here with 10 men, because it was 3-0 to Norwich at half time. It's now 4-2 with 6 minutes to go, and again, really, we've seen from Norwich City today that they can attack with almost the best of them in the Championship with a fair wind, but put under a bit of pressure defensively, and there have been too many wobbles this season. That's why they haven't got anything to play for in this final match of the season, really, isn't it? But 6 goals at Carrow Road on this final afternoon of the season as Wright plays the ball forward, doesn't pick out a teammate. Cardiff have got it, and they go back to their goalkeeper Horvath. He will pass it out towards Bagan, John Bagan, first half substitute when we saw Chambers sent off. Hernandez makes a beeline for a loose ball, gets it for Norwich, level with the Cardiff penalty area. Onel Hernandez tees up Schwartau on the corner of the box, right hand side. He will lay it inside to Nunez, who's got 2 goals in this game. Norwich fans want him to shoot, he's closed down, there's not a shot on there really. So he's gone back to Wright and Doyle, and now Kenny McLean on the left hand side for Norwich. To Nunez. Nunez looking to open up an opportunity to find Sargent, just doesn't stick with Sargent. It's cleared away by Cardiff, and Jack Wilshere spreads his palms out wide as if to say, oh, come on. Gardner, they want him to shoot here. He's got the ball on halfway. You can tell it's the last day of the season. He's not going to shoot. Here's Doyle. 4-2, Norwich lead against Cardiff City on this last hurrah of the Championship season. Chance to say farewell to, oh, goodness knows how many of this team. That's always the strange thing. You'll never see this Norwich team again. Schwartau lays a pass short, gives it away, and Cardiff are away again here. They're making a real game of this in the second half. Colwell on the left-hand side. He's got 3 players sprinting up in support. Schwartau trying to make the tackle back. We've got it back to Ashford here on the edge of the box. Ashford, 25 yards out, looks to find a substitute Nakawua, right corner of the penalty area. He tries to stand the ball up with the cross, but it's a poor one and bounces through to Angus Gunn. 4 minutes to go. I mean, if Cardiff were to get this back to 4-3, that would be scarcely believable.
There'll be a few panic buttons being pressed.
Swansea 3, Oxford 2. That's a mid-table tussle on this final day of the season. I don't think there's been anything else significant. So the scores I gave you earlier still stand. Coventry and Bristol City are going to be the last 2 playoff teams. Luton are going down. If Portsmouth get a winner against Hull, though, that would send Hull back into the bottom 3. Here's McLean in the centre circle for Norwich City. McLean lays it off to Doyle. 4-2 Norwich lead. Wright gives it to Sorensen. Sorensen to Duffy. And it's being played at a walking pace now, this game. Almost preparation for the pre-season friendlies next year. It's got that sort of feel about it now, isn't it? As Doyle will pick out Nunez, I should say, on this left-hand side. Norwich fans, I think, just really like to see their team try and finish with a little bit more of a flourish than this. Still got the ball, though, still moving it forwards. Duffy, to Sorensen on the right-hand side. Forward to Josh Sargent. Hasn't got a goal today, Sargent, yet. Out to Hernandez. Hernandez infield to Schwartau. Firm pass from Schwartau back towards the halfway line, and Duffy. See Jack Wilshere just becoming increasingly animated as McLean strokes one forward. It's in the Cardiff penalty area. It's with Sargent to the right of goal. He sets up sights with his back to goal. He twists, he turns, no way forward there. Sets up Jacob Wright. Oh, flashes the shot wide from the edge of the penalty area. Yet to score for Norwich, and the way he reacted to that, head in hands, I think he thought he'd opened his account there. That
was not too far away. Great close control from Sainz. Maybe should have laid it off a bit earlier, but finally did. Great controlled side foot just past the post. Good effort.
Norwich on their way to signing off with a win. Hasn't been as comfortable as we thought it might be when they raced into a 3-0 lead after 23 minutes against 10 men. I think at that point, 4-2, you'd have seen as a bit of a disappointing outcome, really.
Absolutely, and like I say, you look at both interim managers over there. I mean, I think Aaron Ramsey's got a lot to be positive about from this performance from Cardiff. I think they've done really well. They could have really succumbed and crumbled. I think they've done well.
I think Norwich are going to make a goalkeeping change. I can see Reyes getting ready over on the far side. Here's Hernandez on the right to Sainz. Back to Hernandez in the penalty area. He's gone down dramatically. It's not going to be a penalty. And Cardiff have cleared it away here with Colwell, who's going to dribble the ball forward and take the game to Norwich once more. Up towards halfway. He's got up to Selleck, who's on a hat-trick here, the Danish striker. Into the penalty area he goes. McLean plays the ball off the Dane, and Norwich will get a throw-in by the corner flag on the right-hand side. If Cardiff had scored then, I wonder whether they would still take Gunn off.
I'm going to ask you the same question.
And right, what have we got here? Coventry 2-0 up against Middlesbrough. Jack Redoni scored both of them. Frank Lampard's going to take them into the playoffs. I think the Norwich supporters might have just spotted Vicente Reyes getting ready on the side of the pitch, the backup goalkeeper today, and we're going to see an emotional farewell to Angus Gunn in a moment, aren't we?
No, it's good. Made him captain and give him a real good send-off.
West Brom 5, Luton 3. I think it's probably too late. That really would be the greatest of escapes. They still need Portsmouth to score in their game against Hull, which is 1-1 at Fratton Park. Sorensen for Norwich, right-hand side, tries to feed it into the channel. Intercepted by Bagan, one of the Cardiff substitutes. He gives it to Colwill, who's looked lively since coming on at half-time. Ruben Colwill. And now it's going to be Nakamura on this right-hand side in his debut as a substitute in the later stages of this game. Lays it off to Colwill. Norwich 4, Cardiff 2. 3 minutes of time added on. 3 minutes of this season to go. Cardiff could spoil the party here, keep the ball in play for 3 minutes, and Angus Gunn won't get his opportunity to come off. Jack Wilshere, look, still animated, still moving up and down on the side of the pitch, just wants to make sure his side see out the season in a professional manner. I think Jose Cordoba's going to come on as well for Norwich. As the ball is played up here towards Salek, who has looked a real handful in this game, the striker. Scored a couple of goals, won a penalty. Here's Colwill. Plays it out towards the left-hand side. Dowder, who scored that dramatic league winner against Norwich back in November when Cardiff came from 1-0 down, I think almost at this point of the game, to win by 2-1. Dowder moves it towards the left-hand side. And we've got the final Canary call of the season coming up with Rob Butler and Rob Newman in the next few moments. Hopefully get some reaction from Jack Wilshere and some of his players as well. As Cardiff are on course to keeping the ball in play, aren't they? You can see what the game plan is really. Just don't give Norwich a kick. We've had a minute of the stoppage time. How many successive passes is this for Cardiff? Norwich haven't had a kick for a couple of minutes. Here's Willock for Cardiff City in the midfield. Strokes it towards the right-hand side, and Lawler. And Lawler just strokes it back towards the halfway line. Reyes and Cordova waiting to come on. Gunn waiting to come off. Maybe Cardiff are going to try and test him one more time. Norwich are digging in now. They've got a touch there, but they couldn't keep the ball. Here comes Salek. He's going to shoot from distance. It's deflected wide. Is it? It'll be a Cardiff corner. But before that, we're going to see a special moment for Angus Gunn. Shane Duffy, first of all, is going to make way for Jose Cordova to come on. Duffy has scored today. Perhaps has scored Norwich's final goal of the season. He's certainly given everything for the cause this season. But the applause is not for Shane Duffy, it's for Angus Gunn, who is just removing that captain's armband from his purple and orange goalkeeping jersey. He's handed it to a teammate. And the name Gunn is synonymous with that goal at the Barclay end of Carrow Road. 171 appearances before today for Norwich City. Appearance number 172 is going to be the last. Angus Gunn claps his gloved hands together, a shake of the head, and he claps both hands in the air. Everyone at Carrow Road applauding, and on their feet as Gunn leaves the field at Carrow Road for the last time as Norwich City goalkeeper. Vicente Reyes comes on. There are big gloves to fill at Carrow Road next season. Yeah, no, fantastic ovation, fully deserved. I know his dad will have a frog in the throat today, you know what I mean, like a lump in his throat as he sees this, but fully justified. But hopefully Cardiff don't score from this resulting corner. If they do, you wouldn't put anything past Norwich, would you? The way this season has gone. 4-2 Norwich lead, corner to Cardiff. Willock plays it in from the left-hand side, in towards the near post. Sargent heads it clear. Nunez chops it further forward towards Sainz. Can Norwich finish for the 5th this afternoon? They've got possession, but they're not going to move it forward because he's been tackled. Sargent, though, has now got possession for Norwich. Gives it to Wright. We've had the 3 minutes of stoppage time, but there was that emotional substitution. Ball's been played over the top by Norwich. Sainz is into the penalty area, but just got a little bit too much on the first touch. Out it goes. And there ends an eventful season at Carrow Road. It ends on a winning note for Norwich City. Jack Wilshere hugs his former Arsenal teammate Aaron Ramsey over on the far side of the pitch. He's done all he can in terms of showing what he can get out of the squad. I don't think in truth we learnt much about Norwich City today that we didn't already know. A team that can score plenty of goals in the Championship, but all too often haven't been able to be trusted to keep a clean sheet. That's been the case today. A thriller, 6 goals. They perhaps should have gone on to win more comfortably because they were 3-0 up after 23 minutes with the 2 from Nunez and the 1 from Sainz. But Salek made a real game of it with the 2 that he got for Cardiff in the second half. Shane Duffy made sure that it never got really uncomfortable for Norwich by heading in the 4th goal. They've won 4-2.